Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the month of November. Happy birthday if it's already happened, and happy birthday if it hasn't yet happened but is about to. Oh, I'm using the Earth, Flesh and Bone Stone Tarot for you today. It's absolutely exquisite. Look at it, I love it. Your energy and meditation's felt much better than it has done for a little while, so I'm feeling kind of positive about what's going to turn up here. So let's get stuck in. Can I have 3 cards for Scorpio, please? 3 cards for Scorpio, please. Well, we've got cards flying everywhere and none of them in the right direction. So let's put some of that in there, like that. And just give these a little bit of a smoke. And try that one again. Could I have 3 cards for Scorpio, please? Flying out sideways. Well, I think if nothing else, you seem to have a lot to say, which is intriguing and new for you. Because all of these cards are flying out. Usually I have to kind of pry out of you what it is that you want to say. There we go. There's the first card. It's the 5 of Wands in your recent past. 2 more cards for Scorpio, please. 2 more cards for Scorpio, for fuck's sake. It's just pouring out of you. There we go. Current energy is the 10 of Wands. And what's coming towards Scorpio, please? Strength. Love it. Card of Leo in the Major Arcana. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the 4 of Wands. That is Aries energy, but it's more fire. Followed by the King of Wands, interesting, which is Leo as well. Right, this is good. This is saying to me that you are present, right? A lot of wand energy here. But the 4 of Wands is about foundation. It's about creating foundation. It's a card of home, right? So if you say, for example, you received some amazing news, right? Who are the first 3-4 people that you would contact to let them know that this amazing thing had happened, right? They are home to you. But it feels like something a bit more than that. It feels like potentially there's a settling going on here, right? With your energy. You're settling into yourself. Wow. We've got the moon directly underneath the King of Wands. Now the Wand suit is very present. It's all about living in the here and the now, not sort of hiding away in dark recesses in your head. It's about being present with people, with connections, you know, not overthinking things, not catastrophizing, not scheming, which is a thing, you know, that Scorpios do sometimes. You know, it's just about judging everything as it appears in front of you. Let's have a look at this. Why are the 5 of Wands here, please? First card is the 4 of Cups. And that one there. Oh, what is that? Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Tell me about the 10 of Wands, please. Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. Fucking hell. You really do have a lot to say, Scorpio. This is excellent. Like, it may not be comfortable, the things that you are saying at the moment, but the fact that you're saying them at all is fascinating to me, because it's not something that you share, you know. 10 of Wands. Wow, that one flew out. 4 of Swords. Love it. And finally, Strength. Why is that here for Scorpio, please? 2 came out together. Wow, we've got more Leo energy. The 5 of Wands and the Sun. They're both cards of Leo. This is tremendous. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Magician, followed again by the 4 of Wands. Absolutely fascinating. So, Four of Wands, King of Wands. Wow. Okay, this is good. I feel really upbeat. Like I did after the meditation, and I was just like, this feels more like a Leo reading than a Scorpio one, and here we are. Now, it could be, you know, we're in your season at the moment, so the energy will be working very well for you at this time. But we have literally just today, I think Mercury has gone direct, and it's been in retrograde in your sign, right? So it's about digging deep. It's about pulling out old things and looking at them, right? It's about tying up loose ends in a lot of ways. And, you know, it felt like things had come to a head for you in the last couple of readings. Like you'd kind of reached a point where you could not continue going on the way that you were, right? At some point, years ago, you thought that you could hold this up forever. But for some reason, something has changed. And I'm delighted, actually. Personally, I'm delighted for you. Because you had a rough couple of readings there. All right. The first card that you've got is the Five of Wands. Now, this is conflict of some description, and it can be of any description. It can be internal conflict. It can be the conflict. Can be conflict that you have with other people. It can be healthy competition too. You know, it's kind of difficult to tell from this card what's going on there, right? As a snapshot. But there's a word that keeps getting screamed over and over in my head, and it's release. Something is being released here. You know? Maybe you've stopped fighting yourself. That's possible. But what we've got clarifying is the Four of Cups and the I was going to say the 10 of something. It's the Wheel of Fortune, right? Numbered 10 in the major arcana. It's Jupiter energy, so it's associated with Sagittarius, right? And this is in your recent past. Now, the Four of Cups can indicate a feeling of being taken for granted. It can talk about rejection. And I think that maybe this has been what's on your mind, right? The ways in which you have been rejected in your life, right? But it's kind of a bit deeper than that. It isn't just about, well, you know, this person left me. You know, that's the thing. That's their lookout. It's not their problem. It seems to me like you're kind of getting into the nuts and bolts of why this happened. And specifically with regard to your part in these things. You know, it seems like most relationships that you've been in just fizzle out or explode out. They just end, you know. And it's like for years and years and years, it's just been, you know, you've been presenting with cognitive bias, right? So you go into a relationship with the expectation that this is just going to end at some point, and then it does, and you're, well, I knew it would. You know, that was why I was right not to invest in this thing. But as time has gone on, and as you have become more experienced, and as you have become a little bit more reflective, and I think specifically recently, as things have been coming to a head in you, right? That very thing that you crave, emotional connection, is the very thing that you have stopped yourself from engaging with, right? You really are now kind of mulling over rejection and whether you were in fact rejected by people or whether you sabotaged it yourself, right? And I feel like this is where the sense of conflict has come from. Like maybe you have brought the conflict to the table, but you did it without even realizing that you were doing it, right? From your perspective, you were protecting yourself, but now you see how you have, you know, sabotaged a number of relationships moving forward. Like, that's entirely possible. But we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. And this is interesting because the thing that's really catching my eye here are these two little fairy things. They're on either side of the wheel. Now, they look to me like, you know, the stereotypical depiction of the devil and the angel on your shoulder, you know, both whispering into your ears. And it feels like the universe has kind of shifted things around you a little bit, so that more higher kind of knowledge is being whispered into your ear than perhaps you've been dealing with up until this point, right? The devil has been pretty strong because it's all been about the fear. It's been about what happens if this person that I really like at some point in the future lets me down, right? If I allow myself to really, really like them, then the fall is going to kill me, right? It's repeating a pattern. And so you set off with what you thought were healthy boundaries. Don't let them in too far, and bit by bit they sensed those walls, because they weren't really boundaries, they were walls, and they understood that they weren't going to get what they wanted from you in whatever way that it is. You know, maybe some of you actively sabotaged it, some of it just happened incidentally because of these walls that were up. But the balance has shifted. There's less fear here now, and there's something higher. Now, I've mentioned this before. Like, Scorpio has 3 evolutions, right? Well, or 3 states, if you will, right? And you're the only sign that's depicted fuzzily. You have the Scorpion, which is the low vibration, then the Eagle, then the Phoenix, right? Literally, the Phoenix. Your capacity for transformation is unparalleled in the zodiac. It really is. But as with so many things, the trigger point for that evolution is intense pain. It really is. And I think you've kind of got to a point now where your capacity to hold the pain has been exceeded, probably got exceeded a long time ago. And now you're at a point where you're like, I don't want to carry this around with me, right? And the angel is talking to you more than the devil now, right? And the angel, I feel very strongly, is saying to you, like, it's time to look within. It's time to examine the things, you know, the conflicts, the ways in which I've protected myself over and above what was necessary for the situation. Fucking hell. Yeah, like, I'm laughing about this, right? But every time I've done a reading for you, Scorpio, certainly when I first started the channel and for about the first year that I did a reading for you, like, I would have to shuffle the cards 16 times before a single one came out. And I laughed about it. I was like, how very Scorpio of you, you know, not to wish to talk to me with your energy. But a dam has broken, right? Something's pushed through now, and you can't plug your finger in that anymore. There's a torrent. Thank you. And so I'm laughing because all of these cards are splurging everywhere, because all of these things that you could have let out a little bit, are now just raging from you. But the thing is, I don't feel like any of you are particularly frightened. Not in the way that you anticipated being, now that the dam is open. Got the 2 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It talks to balance. It speaks of balance. And the 2 cards that have come out here to clarify the Wheel of Fortune are the Queen of Swords and the Hanged Man. Now, the Queen of Swords is she's intellectual, and she's rational, and she's logical, and this is a lot of what you've hidden behind Scorpio for a long time, right? It makes sense that if I do not allow myself to get too, you know, attached to people, then it won't hurt when they leave me, because ultimately they will leave me in the end. You know, I'll just put her along, and I'll maintain this veneer of you know, for the want of a better phrase, like, I don't give a fuck anyway, it's all right, you know, like, that's shifting, that's going, because you have experienced some sort of energetic shift. There's some sort of enlightenment that's going on here now, right? And now there's something really dark and scorpionic about this Queen of Swords. Look at her. She's got a skull in her hands. She's got one on her head there, right? Where you were frightened, you're not anymore. There's almost an exhilaration here. Like, holy shit, I am so deep. I have got so much stuff going on here. It's almost like so I've got an 8th house stellium, right? So Scorpio is very strong in my chart. And I heard it described once as that kind of dark detective vibe, right? And I really, really like that. And that's what I'm getting from you here. It's like nothing is off the table. You want to know all of it, right? Warts and all. You don't care. And in fact, the more complex and slightly fucked up it seems, then the more you're going to enjoy this. I'll put a light on. You know, it's a real voyage of discovery for you, self-discovery, and you're here for it. You're all about it, right? You're not hiding from it anymore, and you're certainly not going to pretend that it doesn't exist anymore, because something has happened to make you see things differently. Now, for some of you, it may just be that pressure in your head that just built to the point where it just exploded, and now you're kind of like, whoa, this isn't actually nearly as scary as I thought it would be. Or it could be somebody else. It could have been meeting someone important. It could have been losing someone important. That's possible too. Now, in your current energy, we've got the 10 of Wands, and that's a card of burden, right? It speaks about things being too hard. You notice in here, this chap is not only carrying somebody, but they're dragging somebody else behind them, right? There's only so long that they can carry on in that energy, for sure, right? It's a 10 though, so it signifies completion of something, right? It is the end of a cycle. Now, what that necessarily means is you're heading into a new one, and you're right on the cusp of it at the moment, Scorpio. This is the important thing. We've got the Queen of Cups and the 4 of Swords down here. Maybe some of you have taken up meditation. That's possible. Because the 4 of Swords for me is a card of meditation. It's about detaching from things slightly. And I think maybe this is what you've discovered, that it is possible to detach a little from emotions and apply, you know, that rational, reasonable mind to things. You know, you've probably got a deep interest in psychology. I don't know a Scorpio who doesn't, right? And there's a reason for that. It's because you're really fucking good at it. Yeah. And that interest is something that you're kind of applying to yourself now, right? You're seeing yourself as a puzzle rather than a fucked up mess. And this is amazing, because in doing so, you're actually allowing yourself to open up to new emotions, right? The Queen of Cups is all about receiving things. Now, this is something that you have had deep trouble with. Yeah? It's also the card of Cancer. And it could well be, shit, that there has been a Cancer in your life who has been part of the process for you. But you are in a period of transition. I will not be surprised if the Death card shows up at some point here. Right, for sure. Because it's you and you always show up in your own reading anyway. But the card that I've just pulled here is the Ace of Pentacles. Now remember what I just said, right? You're coming out of an old situation and you're starting something new here, right? This is magnificent. What has been hard will be hard no longer, right? What felt like a burden will not be a burden any longer, because you have a new start in the offing here, and it is one where your emotions are balanced and you are open to receive. And I think you're going to be delighted when you understand the depths that you can feel to, that you had not allowed yourself to do up until this point. Now, whether this is a new person or whether this is just a new way that you're living your life at this point isn't entirely clear. But the important thing is that something's taken root and nothing will be the same again, right? Like, even this Ace of Pentacles, look, it's got a fucking skull on it as well. Like, this whole thing is Scorpio heavy vibes everywhere. I'm just throwing that on the fucking floor, right? The skull is a symbol of death. Death is the, you know, symbol as the correspondence for Scorpio. Things are changing. And I feel you embracing this with everything that you've got. Like I said, I felt so upbeat about this before I even started pulling cards. I know there's been a shift in your energy here. This is transition from Scorpion to Eagle. Like I feel this for you. Now what is coming towards you is strength. Right? It's the card of Leo in the Major Arcana, like I said. It's a fascinating card, this one. It's got an elephant, a bear, a cat and a snake in the corners. Right. I actually love it as well because she's got red hair. And obviously I'm a Leo and I have red hair too. So like, I'm all about that vibe. It could be a Leo coming towards you. We have the Sun and we have Strength. Right? These are both very strong Leo cards. And I'm just going to get this interpretation out of the way before I look at anything else. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse. There's another card of Leo, right? This way round, it's conflict. Active conflict. This way round, it's coming out of conflict. It's building bridges. It's reconciling, right? If you have had a Leo in your life that you want back into your life because you are seeing things differently now, it is possible that they are coming towards you in November, right? Maybe even just fucking fall over your path or something like that, right? If you don't have a Leo around you, if this is not a Leo thing, and actually I'd be really interested to see if Scorpio come out in Leo's reading. That would be fascinating. Then what we've got here is strength of character, strength of, well, growth, fucking soul growth, right? Evolving up, because that's what I see with the strength card, right? It's about surviving adverse circumstances and turning that experience into maturity. And this is what is hitting you really hard, actually, in November, but in the best possible way, because here's that card of conflict. It was your very first card out on the table, reversed, right? Where things have been difficult, think that they're not going to be anymore, right? Things are coming to an end. There is peace returning. There's peace coming to you, you know? And is that inside your head or with other people? Maybe both, you know? One or the other, or both. It doesn't really matter, because then we've got the Sun, right? Huge positivity here. This is the most positive card in the Major Arcana. It's pure, right? There's no crap associated with this card. It's about the joy of just being alive. When was the last time you felt that, Scorpio? Just peace, just simple joy. Not needing anything other than a bit of sunlight and some sunflowers, you know? It's for me consciousness too. And so the fact that it appears here in combination with a card that talks about soul growth means to me that you are, well, like I said, in a period of transformation. There are things coming into your consciousness about you that you did not realize before, right? And you've gone actively looking for them, which is the bravest way to tackle this. 100%. And it's powering you up for something really tremendous, because what we've got here is the Magician, like I said, with the Four of Wands underneath. You're building something new now, Scorpio. Like, this chapter of your life is coming to an end. I wouldn't be surprised if in the extended we start seeing things like the World card and the Fool card and the Death card as well, right? All coming up for you, because there's something completing here, right? Everything that you've experienced in the last couple of months, as hard as it was, I think it's shown you something really, really valuable, and I don't think that you're going to let that go, right? Like I said, you can't put your finger in the dam because the hole is too big now, but it's not nearly as terrifying as you thought it would be. And more than that, it's given you a hunger to look for the other things. I love the fact that it's getting dark as I talk to you, Scorpio. It feels very Scorpionic. Get one more card for this Strength card, please. Can you tell me about Strength? Two of Cups. This is either in relation to a relationship that you want, that you haven't had yet, or a relationship that you had that you want back. or just the way that you approach relationships, full stop, moving forward. Because you've got insight now. Okay? You see things now that you didn't see before. And this is going to change the way that you approach everything, right? It could be that there's somebody coming towards you in November. That is a really strong possibility. But this card speaks to me of intimacy as well. It's like you understand what intimacy is where you did not before. For some of you, there may be nobody coming towards you, but the work has begun here, right? You're a puzzle. And you always knew you were a puzzle. But there were bits of you that you wouldn't touch. And now you're going to do it all, and you're going to fix the puzzle, and you're just going to eagle yourself up just like that. And everybody's going to look around you and go, what just happened? What just happened to Scorpio? Like, did everybody see that? Like, they just... And now they're an eagle. This is immense. I love this for you, Scorpio. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to go over to Vimeo. Actually, I'm going to go and make my kids dinner, and then I'm going to go over to Vimeo. So if you're interested in that, if this has resonated with you in any way, there's a link down in the description. Come and join me over there. If not, no problem. I will see you next time. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.